har en film været så omdiskuteret som den om mordet på John F. Kennedy, instruktøren Oliver Stone netop har udsendt. Forud for filmens Danmarks premiere på fredag har TV2's Erik Snedler i Hollywood interviewet Oliver Stone.
John F. Kennedy's murder was probably one of the most terrible moments in the history of our country.
Oswald's been shot.
Who killed the president?
Oh, Neil!
I have to spell it out for me, Mr. Garrison.
I think you care more about John Kennedy than your own family.
Why was Kennedy killed?
There's a death warrant out for me, you know?
Who benefited?
The government's gonna jump all over your head, Jimbo.
Who has the power to cover that?
Now, we're through the looking glass here, people.
People got to know.
Y'all got to start thinking on a different level, like the CIA does.
People got to know why he was killed.
I just want to raise our children and live a normal life. I want my life back!
Nothing is going to keep me from going ahead with my investigation of John Kennedy's murder. I say let justice be done, though the heavens fall.
Something has happened in the motorcade route. There has been a shooting. Parkland Hospital has been advised to stand by for a severe gunshot wound.
22. november 1963 er en dato, som mange mennesker over hele verden vil huske hele deres liv. Den dag blev den amerikanske præsident John F. Kennedy skudt, mens han kørte i åben bil gennem Dallas i Texas. Et mord, som rystede hele verden. Få timer efter mordet blev Lee Harvey Oswald arresteret. Han var tidligere medlem af det amerikanske Marine Corps og havde tilbragt nogen tid i Sovjetunionen. Efter politiets mening havde Oswald affyret de dræbende skud fra et vindue i et boglager på Dealey Plaza i Dallas. Men Oswald nåede aldrig at blive dømt for mordet på præsident Kennedy. 2 dage efter anholdelsen blev han skudt af natklubejeren Jack Ruby, da Oswald blev ført gennem kælderen til politistationen i Dallas. En kommission, Warren-kommissionen, blev nedsat for at klarlægge drabet. Kommissionens konklusion var, at Lee Harvey Oswald var morderen, og at han var alene om det. Men er det sandheden? Det tror filminstruktøren Oliver Stone ikke.
Where were you and what did you do when you heard about the assassination?
I was in high school. I was a senior, 17. I was in my room, and just nothing special. Like Costner in the movie, I was doing some work, and a fellow student came in and he said, standing in the doorway, Kennedy had been killed. We were all shocked, and we grieved for a young, handsome president, but I don't think we ever understood the full implications of that death.
Did you shoot the president?
I didn't shoot anybody, no, sir. They have taken me in because of the fact I have lived in the Soviet Union. I'm just a patsy.
How would you describe your movie? Is it a drama or is it a documentary or in between?
I think it's a hypothesis. It has many facts in it. But at a certain point, we speculate as to what happened in Dealey Plaza. We don't know the answers. We don't have a smoking gun. But we are able to reach certain conclusions. I believe in them. And Garrison presents them in court. But as I said, it's a hypothesis.
Yeah, it is a hypothesis, but I mean, the Warren Commission examined, at least they say, the whole thing. And what makes you so sure that they were wrong and that you're right?
Well, I mean, that's what we spend the whole movie discussing, is we have to go on a specific case-by-case point. We believe very strongly that the Oswald did-it-alone scenario is a cover story that was put out from day one, and it was accepted in this country. It was accepted by the Warren Commission. It was in their interests to blame it on one assassin, like a John Wayne Western, where he's the bad guy. Lee Oswald shoots the good guy from one window, and in turn he is killed by Jack Ruby, who also dies before he is retried. So it all fits. It's very simple. It's neat. But it's not sophisticated. It's not intelligent, because in a European country or in an Asiatic country, I believe that if a political leader is killed, the first question you ask is why? What are the opposing political forces? What is the leader doing that upsets people? What is the possible motive for killing him? When Gandhi was killed with a bomb in India, that's exactly what the Indian press went to, the opposition parties. The same thing should have been done in this case, but wasn't.
I never realized Kennedy was so dangerous to the establishment.
Is that why?
Well, that's a real question, isn't it? Why? The how and the who is just scenery for the public. Oswald, Ruby, Cuba, the mafia. Keeps them guessing like some kind of parlor game, prevents them from asking the most important question, why? Why was Kennedy killed? Who benefited? Who has the power to cover it up? Who?
What was your motive for making this movie? Was it out of anger, or?
Well, I think the motive is partly anger, partly a desire to see the truth told, or at least explored, partly a desire to rewrite the history, the false history written about Kennedy as a cold warrior, to examine some of the things he was doing in the 1963 era. My hypothesis is that he was trying to end the Cold War, or was about to in '65. He was negotiating with Khrushchev on several levels. He'd signed the nuclear test ban treaty. He put in the hotline. He was negotiating with Castro, and he was seeking to withdraw from Vietnam.
So do you think that John F. Kennedy was, in a way, the Gorbachev of the 60s or something
Very much
like
so.
that?
I think that he started as a cold warrior, and I think that he became a statesman by the end of his 1,000 days, and that he was rocking the boat 20 years ahead of Gorbachev, and people in those days were much more conservative, and he was dangerous. He was dangerous to the establishment.
On my channel in Denmark, we showed a couple of weeks ago an interview with Pierre Salinger, who used to be the press secretary of John F. Kennedy, and he said that he was completely convinced that it was a one-man job. And he was very close of course, to the Kennedy family.
There's so many theories